We all have to at some point wrestle with the angel. You remember the story when Jacob wrestled the angel in Genesis. And I've been listening to a lot of, well, not listening to, I've been learning new things about personality and my life, and realizing how for a long time I've been wrestling with my angel, and how there's a quote that I think it was Larry Cohen that said from a book called The Book of Mercy, if you do not wrestle with the angel because you think there is no pain, something like that. I'm kind of butchering the quote. Therefore, you remain in the same place. And this was from I was listening to a podcast called The Art of Growth. And they quoted that book. And it got me thinking about, and they also talked about the story of Jacob and the angel. Got me thinking about what I'm wrestling with, this angel. Amazing how it feels like a demon, but in that passage and in life, it is an angel that's trying to bring you to a new place, to rename you, to give you a new identity from, in Jacob's case, from the liar to the strength of God, from Jacob to Israel. For me, it would be from the deceiver who hides, who aparenta in Spanish, who looks the part. But really, my truth is that I am not any of those things, and I actually need a lot of support. That would be the angel. The invitation is the angel trying to bring you into a place of authenticity, of the living an honest life, living the good life. And some personalities do that way better than others. The threes, we don't do that very well. And in this season, when I'm wrestling with a lot of the same angel of anxiety and fear and mute, not speaking up, being afraid to speak my truth, I end up then hurting myself and others. Or like Richard Rohr said, also, The Art of Growth quoted this, if you do not transform, you will transmit. Or what you do not transform, you will transmit. And I've been transforming my life for 30 years, since my first panic attack when I was just a young man, 22, 23. And my son is now dealing with stuff, and it's kind of a painful thing to go through it again. Now seeing my young boy at the same age, 22, 23, dealing with similar stuff, and guiding him to wrestle with the angel, because that is where your new name is. My name without wrestling the angel is fear, or I'm so amazing, I can do it all. I can paint the house, build the house, sell the house, whatever. I am the house. I am the table. But my truth is that I need a team. I need people. I'm just a part of the plan, which is scary to admit, because the way that I learn to survive is by aparentando, that I can do it all, to stay safe, to be loved, to stay in the country, to feel like I could have a life. And so I learned those lessons early in life, and they are no longer very useful. In fact, they harm me more than others, more than not. Just last week, a young man who I've done a lot of recording for rap, Christian rap, and a new guy called me and he said, "Hey, Pastor, I'd love to work with you." I said, "Oh, yeah." And I was back in my, oh, yeah, this is going to be good, and a little cash, and I can get a little street cred and whatever, just silly things, versus realizing that I am nowhere near the place to be helping him. I have so much and whatever. And so the first time I said, "Hey, I'm busy," and then I finally said, "I'm just not able to." And it felt so good. He said, "Oh, thank you so much, Pastor," and moved on. Something so simple is so difficult for some of us to live that authentic life. Or the other day I was telling my friend, I said, I just don't know that program really well, or I don't know how to fix that cable. Oh, he said, "I thought you were an expert in that." I said, "I'm not." He's like, "Oh, okay." And just moved on. And those are kind of minor things, but the deeper things is are more important. Accepting brokenness, whatever that is, whether it's mental stuff or sexual stuff or anger issues or whatever it may be, addictions and all the things that everyone does and deals with, but you don't see that on Instagram. People hide it until it's too late. And so I'm here to be an example to you and to my family, to my son, to anyone who would listen, and most of all to myself, to keep wrestling that angel, because I don't know why that angel keeps coming back. I guess because the journey is not over and there's still more work to be done. And of course there is, because I keep making mistakes. I keep messing up. I keep screwing up and hurting people or whatever. And so God keeps bringing me back to these angels, to this angel. Maybe it's the same one over and over again, who wants to wound me to become a wounded healer, but who at some point will give me a new identity. And that may not come till heaven. It may come one day at a time. But I think it's true and it's important to keep wrestling. So if you are in the middle, at the beginning, or at the end of wrestling with yourself, keep wrestling the angel. He's there to protect you, to give you strength, to give you a new name, a new future, and a hope. That's what I'm doing, and I'm encouraging my son and my family and people that I work with, and most of all myself, to keep fighting the angel and to not run away or to think that to wrestle the angel is weakness. In fact, that is where your strength is. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Adios.